Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Lovely to see you again as always. For anyone who is new here, I aim to educate people about the property world in the UK. So if you are new to my channel and want to learn about property, definitely consider subscribing to keep up to date with my new videos. Today is an interesting topic because it involves me teaching you some basic financial maths that I think everyone should know, as you can not only apply it to property, but your everyday life. For anyone sitting at home and thinking,
"Oh, but Raf, I hate maths. It was the worst subject in school."
trust me, I've made it super easy to understand.
Easy.
So grab your protractors, super calculators and Rubik's Cubes, but before we get started, I just wanted to test something out very quickly. If you are watching this, please leave a little math related emoji in the comments below and I'll give it a like and I'll reply to it. Okay, let's begin. A lot of financial maths principles stem from one simple calculation, which I'm sure you've all heard of, and that's compound interest. It sounds scary, but trust me, after this video, forget about your Weetabix, your Cocoa Pops, or your banana and kale smoothies, because you're going to be eating compound interest for breakfast. So, what is compound interest? It's the phenomenon whereby your money grows at a rising rate based on a set amount of money at the beginning, a rate of return, and how long you wait for that money to grow. Einstein is even credited for saying, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Why? Let's go for an example. Let's say you put £10 into a pot for 1 year and you get a 10% return on your £10 investment. This equates to £1. So now you have £11 because you get your £10 back at the end of the year plus your £1 interest. Now let's repeat the process for year 2. Now you put in your £11 and you get a 10% return, but this time your return is £1.10. So in total you have £12.10 at the end of year 2. Let's repeat the process one last time for year 3. This time you put in your £12.10, get your 10% return, so at the end of year 3, you'll get £1.21, giving you a total of £13.31. So to summarise, what does this show us? It shows us that if you were to invest £10 for 3 years at a rate of 10%, you would end up with £13.31. But did you notice something? Every year, your return grows and it grows more than the previous year. This is why compound interest is such a powerful tool, and you might hear many investors say something like, time in the market beats timing the market. However, this is a bit of a long-winded way of calculating the compound interest on a sum of invested money, especially if the numbers are a bit more complicated than £10, 10% and 3 years. So here's the fun bit. There's an easy formula that'll do it for you, and you can use it to calculate any compound interest scenario. That formula is 1 plus I, all to the power of n. I represents the interest rate, and n represents the number of years you'll keep the money in the pot. Those are the only two things you'll need to know. So let's go through the previous example again, but this time using the formula we just learnt. We know we have £10 to invest, and we want to figure out how much we'll get at the end of year 3, and we know the pot will offer us a 10% yearly return. Our two values are 10% for I, which always needs to be represented as a decimal, and we know we'll keep it in the pot for 3 years, so n equals 3. If you don't know how to convert a percentage into a decimal, just take the number and divide it by 100. Now we plug those figures into our formula. 1 plus I, which is 0.1 in this case, all to the power of n, which is 3. Firstly, because it's in brackets, we do 1 plus 0.1, and that equals 1.1. We then take 1.1 to the power of 3. If you were to put this in your calculator or do it in Excel, you'd get a figure of 1.331. This number is what is known as our multiplier, which means you now need to multiply it by the £10 investment that we put in at the beginning. That would be £10 times 1.331, which is £13.31. And you'll remember that the way we did it previously also equaled £13.31. And there you have it, compound interest explained simply. Now, you're probably thinking, where and how can I use this? It's mainly used to predict the value of your future investment, whether that's property or your savings or some stocks or shares you bought. Say that you want to put away a one-off sum of £1,000 in a high interest savings account for 15 years at 3.5%. I wanted to find out how much you'll have at the end of it. Boom! Compound interest saves the day. Let's say you bought an investment property or a first-time property and you expect to keep it for 12 years. and you make the assumption that the property market will rise by 2.5% every year. You want to know how much you can sell it for in the future. Boom! Compound interest saves the day again. Anyway, you get the point. This is a good way of predicting the future value of your money or investment, but remember, it won't tell you if it's a good investment. I know there's a lot of calculators out there that'll do this calculation for you, but it's always good to understand this from the basics. Like I mentioned previously, this is the first step in so many financial maths equations, so get very comfortable with it, because in the next parts I'll be building on this and showing you more complicated but hopefully quite interesting things. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, please do give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone you think might need to know this. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at my next video.